All right, how we doing, people? All right. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. How we doing, folks? It is 6 p.m. on a Sunday. You know what time it is. Time for an episode of the Shed Podcast with yours truly, Just Built Different, Cody Hawkinz. I am going to be hopefully joined by shit last night. Yeah, man, it sucked. It really did suck, honestly, because we were on a good roll, too. We were on a really good roll. Um, I'm trying to find out where people started losing the signal and everything leading up to the connection failures, because that's one thing that does concern me whenever it comes to this podcast, and especially the feed. Um, so last I checked, where we completely lost signal was going over NXT. Um, Going over NXT with everything that's been going on. But well, it started around the end of Raw. So let me go ahead and get my notes back up here, and y'all just bear with me. I hope everybody has had a great New Year's. Well, a happy New Year, everybody. I had a good old time. Hopefully, y'all did too. And let's go ahead and I'm trying to pull up all my notes right now. All right. The heck? Okay. All right. So pulling up some, pulling up all my notes here, trying to find them all, because I usually get a pretty good drag whenever it comes to my internet signal sometimes. Over here, usually it's pretty good here because I'm running solo on my phone. Let me try to fix that. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if my audio is good. Um, a little bit of music here. Okay. Better than our audio last night. Okay, good. At least we got that going on. All right, and let me run through my. I've got the last of my Raw notes. I've got my NXT notes down, and gotcha. All right, so with that being said, welcome to the episode 17, part 2 here of the Shed Podcast. I'm just Bill Different, Cody Hawkinz. I might be joined later on by Cajun Daddy Trucker Jimmy Fusho to help me with the Monday Night Raw predictions going into the Netflix premiere, which is happening tomorrow night on Netflix. We have a huge stacked card for that one. I've already done like the news outside of the wrestling world yesterday for those who caught on. For those who caught the impromptu and surprise live, Justin kind of went on a wild hair and decided he was going to do that, but it's okay. Let's see. Dang it, bro. Yeah, there we go. So, all right, I'm pulling up the match card here for Monday Night Raw, just in case. So please bear with me, guys. All right. And I do also, while I do this, I want to take the time to thank Little East Creations for being our primary sponsor of the podcast. Be sure to check out Little East Creations. You can find our information here on YouTube through the account there. Or we can, for anybody interested, drop us a link, drop us a message in our DMs, and we'll go ahead and send you the QR code that you can scan to check out Little East Creations, as well as our line of merchandise that we have, including these little snapback trucker hats on sale now in the merch shop. Check out our merch. Also, join our Discord. You might be able to join us for the watch along on Discord for WWE Royal Rumble, which is happening February 1st. I'm looking forward to that as well. There's going to be a lot happening, a lot going on, and I cannot wait. I am excited. Let's see. All right. So, guys. Okay. So now I've got the match card. So, all right, let's get it going. Whenever it comes to everything happening with Monday Night Raw, the final segment of Monday Night Raw between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, that right there, these guys are they pulled all the stops out whenever it comes to promo, because of course they're gonna jab at each other with things that are happening in their real lives. It got super freaking interesting. Great job from Joe Tessitore doing what he's supposed to do in that situation whenever he's working as an announcer. Tessitore has basically proven himself more than enough that he belongs on the Monday Night Raw commentary and being the head guy there with Wade Barrett. Wonderful team, those two. All of the matches that led into like Dakota Kai advancing to the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and then Lyra Valkyria also going to the final. So it's going to be those two tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, the Netflix premiere January 6th. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the great match you're going to have with Punk and Rollins. Yeah, I think you've got the tag team titles that are going to be on the line, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But going into NXT, they said Justin was saying that the signal was pretty bad going into NXT. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up where I left off from all the notes. Like, being that was the last NXT of the year, it was a very great outing and a pretty decent show to close off the year with. Going into 2025, there's going to be a lot of big things happening in NXT. And for those that watch it, you're going to have a great time watching this, because there's a lot of great creative. There's a lot of good matches. There's a lot of good pairings. And every time NXT hits the CW network, they are doing really good in the views. They are doing really good in the demographic. Not bad for a Tuesday. So with that being said, NXT was a great show alongside big categories that they were doing for the NXT in the year end of awards. Also, you had the men's and women's awards there. Caden Carter and Katana Chance came back from SmackDown to NXT to take on Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, as well as Shotzi and Gigi Dolan in a triple threat tag match. Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice hope to end the year where they both broke out with a great performance and momentum building win. The Black and Silver brand would also continue to build major hype for New Year's Evil. This is going to be a pretty interesting, I wouldn't call it a flagship event. It's not a takeover. It's basically like one of their major theme shows that you're going to see on national television, because they're not, not necessarily PLE quality, but whenever like Stand and Deliver is definitely a PLE quality show. But some of these you can still put them on TV and give them the right hype, and you'll increase your viewership once a month, unless y'all decide to do PLE road tours again. Which, once again, I was saying there's major hype going on with NXT. This is awesome to see. It's great to find out about NXT doing so well right now in the demographics, and doing so well even on a Tuesday night after a heavy night of Monday Night Raw, which, look, I'm ready for it. Now, SmackDown has taken Monday Night Raw's place on USA Network. And there is saying, I think they are moving to 3 hours on SmackDown as well. So that's going to be interesting. You're going to have a total of 8 hours a week minimum on WWE Network television being put on either Netflix or USA or the CW Network. 8 hours of wrestling. This is great. I know you got into SmackDown yet, but what if they make Stratton a whole pink title? Yeah, hell yeah. I think that honestly would be a nice touch, because she's already got the bejeweled and bedazzled suitcase, and all that stuff. So just confirm The Rock will be there tomorrow night. Hell yeah, of course. It's Monday. It's the big premiere. Hey Heather, how we doing? So I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's going to be a big night tomorrow night on Netflix for Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be sitting there watching this thing through and through. I might even do like a post thing, a little post gimmick deal. I just might do it on my TikTok. Because I do want to create the Shed podcast. I wonder if Batista will be that dude. You know how small that guy is now? He's lost all his mass, but he's still very toned. Batista looks great, man. But let's carry on. Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice. This was a really good pairing between these two, because these two have been going at each other for, honestly, our podcast last night was the worst yet. Yeah, it was one of the worst yet. The signal was crap. Our frame rate was like just, sometimes not even 60 frames per second, which is nuts. Because usually we're like, 240, 250, 350, a little bit better, a lot, not so grainy, not so staticky. The audio was, ugh. But moving forward, look, Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice. Cora Jade would get involved in this match. There was a distraction that backfired. You would think paying $20, $30 a month for internet, it would work right. Or it could have been just a connection with the hard line, bro. You never know. You can never be certain with it. Yeah, they might have to check that Ethernet line. You might need Cat 6 or up. There might be a different grade of Ethernet wire that you're gonna have to change it to. Moving forward, after this distraction, Jordan would roll up Lola Vice and get the win with a bridge. Then after that, Cora Jade would attack Jordan until Stephanie Vaquera came in, which y'all already know how I feel about Stephanie Vaquera. An outstanding talent, great Latino wrestler, and just a pleasure to. There's a lot of women that are saying this woman is a pleasure to work with in the ring, because she understands. And it did not take her long to get into the WWE way. You love saying it. Yes, I do love saying her name. Vaquera. It's just, there it is. But let's go. But on a night lacking for big time matches, this one was pretty good. They got enough time to get it done. They gave them enough TV time to run this story, tell it, have it done, execute, and finish. It delivered a good quality performance. It came also with a couple of teasers because of who's Cora Jade going to go after next, who wants a piece of Cora Jade, what's going to happen with Vaquer, what's going to happen with Kalani, what's going to happen with Lola Vice. There's so many storylines that are branching off for this one match. And given the time that they were given, noted the time they were given to do this match and tell everything out, this was well done. This is a good way to go into 2025. Jordan needed this rebound win so bad right now as she enters 2025 as a potential NXT main event star awaiting her next opportunity. Yes, the former women's North American champion might be setting her eyes on NXT women's gold and not the North American championship. So the finish was a little messier than expected on this match. Jordan is hinted being a heel as well, but I think Lola Vice will be the one to turn heel here. I love that idea because Lola's always been a hard face and she's done an outstanding job, and she's also done a lot of babyface work, and that's also great. The women's division could use more heel representation. Yeah, I mean, you've already got, you got your few, you got Cora Jade, you got Roxanne, you got Fatal Influence, whatever they call themselves. Okay, I mean, they're a good team. Okay, it's just sometimes I tend to forget their names. Like, I know their group name, but sometimes like I only remember like maybe Fallon Henley out of the three. So that tells you which one of those three actually draw my interest because she's the one doing a lot more than the other two. This right here, Julia, there's a lot of things about Julia here in this process too, because if Kalani Jordan is going for that NXT Women's Championship, Julia is not that much further ahead of Kalani Jordan right now, going after Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. Moving out. Like after Jade watched Vaquera, Jordan and Lola Vice argued, Ava would tell her that she would face all four of them. Cora Jade will face all four women next week for a women's North American Championship opportunity. This is gonna basically kick that little can and keep the ball rolling with everything. There was also a all ego Ethan Page versus Cedric Alexander match. You know how I feel about Cedric Alexander. He is a solid in-ring performer. He's a great cruiserweight. He even put on some mask to try to make him look a little more serious. His agility is second to none. He's an outstanding worker, outstanding wrestler. But during an interview with Cedric Alexander, Ethan Page would arrive to threaten Alexander. Then they ended up brawling all the way to the ring and starting the match impromptu, like literally impromptu. Excuse me. This was a pretty decent startup, for a match. I think it jumpstart, but this jumpstart made sense. I love this one. This was a really good match. They beat the crap out of each other. Paige went like he was mainly just trying to bust this dude in the mush a lot throughout this match. He knocked Alexander's mouth guard out with a boot and then hit a cutter to take the win on him. This was, the best spot that NXT has put Cedric Alexander in quite some time since his return to the Black and Silver brand. This to me, Cedric Alexander, like I said, has always been one of my favorite guys because he's solid. He's got smooth transitions. He's an outstanding psychologist when it comes to wrestling for his style. That hybrid style of wrestling is something different. Like, I'm more of a traditional guy whenever it comes to the ring, but I'm not scared to take a risk or do something technical because, just built different. I mean, come on. For good reason, baby. Now, he sold how badly Javon Evans had been hurt by Paige, and why he needed this fight with Paige, for Cedric Alexander. The pace of this contest made Alexander look better than he has in a long time. This right here, like it's showing that he does have some serious value on the NXT roster, but the question is, how long will it last? So we're not really necessarily sure what's going to happen with Cedric Alexander, but hey, cuz, what's happening? But hopefully good things are going to come. But credit to like Ethan Page as well, dude, like who has shown talent time and time and time again. Every time this guy gets put in front of a camera, he is maximizing his minutes. He's doing his job as a heel, and he's getting the work in, telling the story, putting his opponent over, and he ain't got to do much but just smile. That's it. Yeah. So less is so much more in this case. Now, once again, Paige would defeat Cedric Alexander by a pinfall. Let's see, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus the Meta Girls, which is Jakari and Lash against, and also Shotzi Blackheart and Gigi Dolan. This triple threat tag team match was really, really good. Um, Fatal Influence would end up distracting the referee on this one, allowing Jacy Jane to knock down Gigi Dolan, and set up Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson to connect with the wheelbarrow cutter for the victory. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn would interrupt the celebration, though, of Jakari and Lash, and challenge them to a match in the new year for New Year's Evil, hopefully. Because I didn't really get to watch a lot of the aftermatch because I just kind of walked through it, but I did watch the majority of the match. I just didn't watch the post pinfall celebrations because I went to the kitchen to grab me something to drink. My apologies, WWE. You have a great product, but sometimes a brother need to wet his whistle. The main roster of and NXT talent involved here. This was a great option to choose because Caden and Katana were like basically welcome back to NXT with open arms. They were popping so hard for these girls. They've been doing such an outstanding job in NXT, and I look forward to seeing more of Kaden Carter and Katana Chance in the women's tag team division. They're a good team. They're established. They just need the right push. They just need the right push. And I think those women will be champions once again very, very soon. If they put them in the right storyline and they give them the right angle with the right team or the right set of heels, this will prove to be an outstanding title reign if Kaden Carter and Katana Chance ever get a hold of those WWE Women's Tag Team Championships again. Now, the crowd was completely behind Chance and Carter, like I said, and in a way that is not translated in the main roster because the main roster is not really welcoming them in all that well. But the two also looked a bit rusty in this action. They looked a little bit rusty, and I don't know. They need more ring time. That's what this all boils down to. They need more ring time. The rustiest performer, though, I'd have to give it to, I got to give it to Shotzi Blackheart. She's been out with injury. She's been out with a lot of things happening in her world and in her life, and I'm glad to see her back. I am glad to see her back, but damn it, girl, hit the ring. Come on, mama. This is what y'all do. This is what the NXT is known for. We're looking at the future of the main roster in WWE. And, Shotzi, come on, girl. I'm a huge fan of yours. Get that game right, mama. You got this. So, she is all right after a rough landing, though. From like Shotzi did take a pretty rough landing. It may be the best for the future that Shotzi and Dolan take that double team dive out of their playbook. Because, that was a little sketchy, a little scary. A little scary. But next match would be Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dane. Outside the ring, during this match, Izzy Dane would throw Zarya into a diving moonsault from Sol Ruka. The distraction allowed Dane to hit the eye drive for the victory. Hold on, what was that? Any update on AJ Styles with his injury? Nothing yet, man. Nothing yet. I wish I had more updates. No update on AJ yet. From what I'm hearing right now, he's still in recuperation. He is doctoring up. I did look up some information from Bleacher Report. I did check out Fightful, which Sean Ross Sapp is usually the guy on top of things like that. So I do follow a lot of these other podcasters, a lot of these other wrestling journalists to try to keep everybody up to date, even though I only do this once a week. This is not an everyday thing for me. So just work with me. Ruka, man. Back to that match. She remains one of the most likely of stars to work in the NXT system. Oh, you saw Wrestle Dynasty. Nice. I've been wanting to catch it, but I was a little late for the draw there with Ashley and Lance at WGS. Um, I mean, she's learning from each performance and showing a lot of progress throughout every match that she gets into. This is what I love about Soruka. She's adaptable. She's a great Swiss Army knife. She needs to get comfortable before the bell rings instead of getting comfortable after the bell rings. Yes, I understand. Yeah, it's a crowd. You're on national television. You're being watched worldwide. Okay, but at the same time, they chose you for a reason to be on this show. Soruka, put that game face on before your music hits, not after. Um, Sorry about that. This was a bit of a messy showing for Soruka, um, but she never got discouraged whenever things got kind of sideways. You know, some of those spots did get a little lead pipe cinch, and she did a really good job to pivot and to try to fix those issues in the match. There's like just it's really all it's really about is just tightening the screws, tightening the tightening those screws to make sure that you don't have to worry about missing something, um, or missing a spot or missing a sequence. Any reason why Shotzi is on NXT instead of the main roster? Because Shotzi just came back from injury. She just came back from recovering from injury, and it's not so great right now because of all the rust. She needs some more ring time. She needs actually TV time as well. So creative's going to have to get creative and work her in to where she gets more ring time, she gets more screen time. Her technique in wrestling cleans up during training in between tapings, and that's pretty much the end of it here. It's like hopefully NXT has not loosened track of what makes Zarya special on this one, because Zarya is an absolute unit of a woman. She's just a destroyer, and she's a great talent. And it's hopefully they don't go off track with Zarya. I really hope they don't. She has such an amazing future ahead of her, just like any of these women that are in the business right now with the WWE. They have such an amazing opportunity to become something great and grow and flourish and become better. No, Julia's a destroyer too. Yeah, Julia is no joke. I've watched her stuff in Stardom. She is an absolute freaking just take your head off, ask questions later kind of woman. I've seen this woman work. I mean, Heather, you've watched the Stardom with us, with me, with Ashley, with Billy. God bless, um, and Lance. We'd all be sitting there watching this almost every other night. You know how Julia works. I know how Julia works. Hell, I was even all busted open talking to Bully Ray about Julia going into the WWE a while back. It was really great to actually get some better insight from Bully Ray. Uncle Bully, I love you, bro. I don't know you all that well, but I got love for you. Um, I mean, I might have met you like once or twice at a convention, but that's it. uh, Now, like, I really do not. I hope that they don't take this mystique from Zarya, because she looks like this the mystique, this aura of being an absolute powerhouse and a destroyer in the ring is it's gonna hurt if they try to take that from her. Now, there was another tag match here. Hank and Tank, Andre Chase and Wesley. Um, well, no, Hank and Tank and Andre Chase against Wesley, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Igwe. I think that's how. Carmella, I have no idea. I heard she had another baby, and I don't know if she's, Lord knows when she's coming back. I haven't really heard much from Carmella in the ether whenever it comes to her leave of absence. Same thing goes for Alexa Bliss. I am begging for Alexa Bliss to get her little biscuit cheeks back in the ring and start kicking some ass. All right, I'm ready to see Alexa Bliss tear the scene up again. The evolution that was Alexa Bliss through her years from NXT to her departure um, about a year or so ago. It's changing now. Whenever she does make a return back to WWE, we are ready for this. When this return happens, we are going to be ready. The fans are ready. They've been ready for her to come back. Now, Hank and Tank would convince Andre Chase before this match to team up with him in a six-man. While he started to try to find his fire, though, Andre Chase walked out as he realized Chase U was still gone. Like, he still got it in his head that, Chase U is done forever, whatever. Leaving Hank and take the stunner from Igwe for the loss. This, like, they're not really putting much emphasis on Chase U ever since the disbandment. That's just me, though. Now, I could be wrong. WWE can probably hit me up on my DMs and say, hey, I think you might have got this, a little out of whack. But they're not, to me, they're not highlighting Chase U post disbandment as much as I feel like they should. They need to get Osborne. They need to get Thea. They need to get Duke Hudson. They need to do some more highlighting on those four members, like Chase and then the other three. Now, being that we have so much going on right now in NXT, and I'm really hoping that things do change up for the Chase U storyline, there's only so much that you can do. So Igwe and DuPont would get this tag team win, and they would pin Hank and Tank by pinfall. Shoot. And to close off NXT, we had a promo in the middle of the ring, final segment of NXT. Obafemi would interrupt the NXT Male Superstar of the Year presentation, saying that it didn't matter who won the award. Trick Williams arrived to call out Femi's bad behavior after losing the North American Championship to Tony D'Angelo, which that was a great match. I don't know if any of y'all watched the match, but I did. I loved it. It was great. Who were those people who attacked Chase about Chase U? We're going to find that out very soon. Now, Eddie Thorpe would come out and lay out both of these men from behind, breaking the Male Superstar of the Year award on Obafemi and standing tall with the NXT Championship. This was a great way to close NXT. It puts you closer and closer to New Year's Evil. It's increasing the credibility and it's increasing the hype for the NXT Men's Championship match. But it's got way more magnitude than what's going on for the NXT Women's Championship, which also draws a concern to me. Julia and Roxanne have already done a great job in the ring before for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm not sure how this is going to end up for New Year's Evil for the NXT Women's Championship, but I do hope that we have the change of title. I think Julia will get the over at New Year's Evil and become the new NXT Women's Champion. Because we've had a heel champion for long enough. Now we need that hard face that's will be willing to take on anybody, no matter who it is. Short or tall, big or small, she'll fight them all. I want Julia as our NXT Women's Champion. That's just the be all end all of it. Now, going into Friday Night SmackDown, this was an interesting SmackDown to say the least. This the new year started off with some new title action. Nia Jax would defend her WWE Women's Championship against Naomi. The U.S. Champion Shinsuke Nakamura was also pretty much competing against Andrade, El Idolo. But their encounter was a non-title. This was a non-title match. Now, we got just less than a month away from Royal Rumble, February 1st. And you'll be able to catch us on here, on YouTube, me, Justin, Jimmy, everybody in the shed, getting ready for this event. We got some ideas for our giveaway for the post and the pre and post show. For those who want to come in, like, share, subscribe, join us in the chat like y'all do here, and your name will get put in the drawing the day of the PLE. And we will reveal our winner as we are signing off from the post show. So do remember that. Like, share, subscribe, YouTube, freaking Snapchat. I don't like Instagram. I promote it everywhere. Be sure to tune in with us and get your shot at something. Hell, it might even have a Shed Podcast snapback. Might get something extra. Like you'll win the cup, but then we'll do this 20-sided die thing. I'll take a 20-sided die, and there's going to be a number for each thing we have in our merch, and whatever number it lands on, you get that as well as your cup. We'll make it up to y'all big time. Wait till Mania. Yeah, Mania is going to be nuts, bro. We got a big surprise for y'all for WrestleMania. We're doing 2 giveaways, 1 giveaway each night, 1 for night 1, 1 for night 2. We're thinking maybe a gift basket. Yeah, Justin and Jimmy did some talking the last few weeks talking about this. Like, what are we going to do for the fans? What are we going to do for the listeners, the watchers, the viewers of the Shed podcast that are loyal to the brand and want something like to show that we care about our people. We care about our viewers. We care about our listeners. And what better way than to potentially, I don't know, have a gift basket? A gift basket full of goodies. You could have a shirt. Might be a shirt, might be a cup, might be a hat, might be a koozie, might be a wristband, uh, freaking pillows. You never know. I mean, I'd say we put about $100 worth of merchandise in each bag, in each basket, and we just do it like that. And it'll be like a loose grab bag. Will there be a watch along tomorrow? I know you guys were talking about it. I'm thinking about it because I have Netflix for sure, so I'm going to be watching it. I might open up the Discord, and for anybody who's with me on the Discord, like with us in the Discord group, jump in with us, and we'll just it'd be cool to do a watch along. It won't be live, like on like live stream, but we can do a watch along together. I'll be in there for sure. So whenever y'all get this, all right. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for hey, and spread the word. Let everybody else know what's going on. I mean, I know Ash and Lance and them with WGS, they got their own little thing going on, which is cool. But anybody else who's in our Discord group, feel more than welcome to join me on that tomorrow night for the January 6th Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw. Now, enough about that. Let's get to SmackDown. Whew. Now, there's some matches for one more thing about Monday Night Raw. This list of matches is definitely PLE quality for sure. So look forward to a lot of great matches tomorrow night. It's going to be great. Now, there was a video that would recap what happened last week between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Cody would come out to open the show. This was, of course, a typical solid start for SmackDown, bringing your undisputed WWE champion out into the open for the fans to see. Let him cut the promo. He would reveal that he's not cleared to wrestle yet and blame the power driver, which he received from Kevin Owens, that package power driver, which is an illegal move apparently still. Okay. Here in Louisiana, in professional wrestling with the commission, we can't do power drivers. We can't do power bombs. We can't do burning hammer, 450 McTwist, 740 backsplash, whatever the fucks. Pardon my language there. But it's for good reason, because there's a lot of people that want to do the moves, but they're not perfectly trained in doing so. Not everybody can execute it every single time, which is understood. But if you don't practice that move enough and get comfortable with everything going on, it will get somebody hurt. And I understand. That's why I do simple things in the ring. I don't get crazy. I'm intelligent enough to know what to do, when to do it, and more importantly, why. So surprisingly, it was not Owens that attacked Cody who came out to confront him. It was actually Drew McIntyre. Now, however, he did not attack Rhodes. He did not attack Cody whatsoever. He gave him a hug that seemed to catch the champ off guard, which is different. McIntyre would tell Rhodes that he needed a friend, but Cody didn't seem to care. Owens ended up attacking Cody from behind, and then they brawled off until officials and security would break them up. Of course, you already know anything involving Cody, they got security everywhere. it's like, oh, let's bring out the Green Neck Boys. Let's go. Let's bring on the flame. It's exposure. Why not? The guy's getting paid. Let them get their shine. As opening segments usually go, this was pretty good. This was decent. I mean, it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's nothing that you can shake a stick at. Cody talked for a bit. The feud was addressed. Owens threw a few shots. It was business as typical. It's just another day in the office. Cody is pretty good at carrying a segment like this, but I felt like he was kind of lacking, in the longevity. The longevity thing, because their match is still a month away at this point. Whew. All they could do, oh, they good. All they could do was really kill time with it on TV. McIntyre did get a nice pop. Uh, the crowd was legitimately surprised to see him. They're like, "Oh, yeah, oh yeah! Like, holy crap, he's on SmackDown!" Yeah. um, Opening with a talking segment's great. Okay, I think it's good. I think it establishes things, but it feels like this one took up twice as much time as needed. It took up way too much time. Um, mm. Now, Andrade would face Shinsuke Nakamura in a non-title match. Shinsuke being the new United States champion after toppling LA Knight at Survivor Series. That was an interesting loss. I didn't really get that, but it happened. It's good. But LA Knight did have a really great U.S. title run, and I see him going for it again very soon. Getting multiple U.S. titles or multiple minor championships leading up to maybe possibly a world championship title bout later on in the distant future is great. You got to establish people this way, and LA Knight is one of those guys that have what it takes. Now, this match between Andrade and Nakamura, to the surprise of a lot of people, but at the same time, to the surprise of absolutely freaking nobody, these two put on a great outing. This was a good match. The psychology was smooth. They let their body language do everything because one guy is kind of okay in English, the other one is kind of okay in English, but you only need to speak wrestling in this case. These two guys speak wrestling, and the psychology here was like butter, butter off of a hot knife, smooth, baby. I loved it. Um, Now, Andrade and Nakamura know each other pretty well, and they've been able to give the fans a lot of great performances. Every time they've crossed or touched over the years, they've always given a great quality match. Cannot blame them for that. You cannot doubt it. You can only hope to contain it. Now, Andrade looked a lot more focused than he has in quite some time, especially after the whole U.S. title push thing with him and Carmelo, and you know where I'm getting at here. But Nakamura is in his basically his evil, like I'm like he's very like I don't know, like Sith like. It's really cool. It's like he's made it to the dark side. And it's looking really good on him. I love this blood moon warrior, you know, like in the form of Shinsuke Nakamura. He's using his cunning, he's using his intelligence, he's using his sly tactics to gain advantage in his matches, and also using that black mist. It's a part of it. Let him use it. Let it roll with it. Just go and let this man hold that title for a few more months. Get somebody pushed like Andrade or like Carmelo or somebody in that within that ballpark realm of people who could potentially hold or contend for the United States Championship, not just LA Knight. Even though it'd be nice for him to get that title back from Nakamura, but we already know only if things get lead pipe cinched, they might put LA Knight back there. Now, after hitting his head on the ring post, Andrade would fall to the Kinshasa, giving Nakamura the win, but the celebration was cut short by LA Knight appearing to attack him. This was great. Now, Nakamura would get the win. Once again, this was non-title. The new theme, I am loving Nakamura's new theme. I love it. I love it. It's very dark. It's very simple. It's very like I'm finally free kind of feel. Like the evil has been freed in him and he's able to unleash like he wants to. And I dig it. I love the mystique that Nakamura is bringing here. Now, there was a match, Michin versus Piper Niven. Michin would basically is trying to bounce back from the loss from Chelsea Green for to become the inaugural United States champion, the women's United States champion. Um, this match played out pretty typical. Michin would, she'd use her technique over Piper's size and maneuverability or lack thereof. Niven would use her size and strength to push her opponents around whenever she could. But at the same time, Michin was using that mind over matter technique in the storytelling of this match to show speed and technique trumps power and power and strength. Green was playing cheerleader at ringside this whole way through. She was basically watching Niven and got incredibly upset whenever Michin began twerking at her. That was funny. It was a nice little thing. And go ahead, girl. Do your thing. Michin was able to overcome Niven to get the win in a decent bout. Michin is one of the most underrated performers, and it's been really nice. And it's been a nice breath of fresh air. Well, I almost said something bad right there. Watch out. If I say something breast, thank God I have it's not for kids. But moving forward, Michin would get this pin over Niven, and it's giving her the ring time that she requires in order to push this thing forward. I see Michin going for it maybe once or twice more for the Women's United States Championship, especially being Chelsea Green as champion, doing her heel deal. Niven has her own music, though. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Niven has her own music, but she came out to Chelsea's music for some reason. Why? Don't know. It's okay, though. Now, Green was decked out in the American patriotic clothing and all that, even though she's Canadian. And then the back-to-back cannonball spot was fun. That was cool. Then DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns, man. Paul Heyman came out to speak about Roman before this match, though. They'll speak about the Roman versus Sokoa match, the Ula Fala, the trial by combat. And it's looking pretty good from where it stands. Before he could leave, though, Solo Sikoa would come out. Surprisingly, he actually offered Heyman to hold the Ula Fala during his match with Reigns to protect it. Now, the next match, like I was talking about, this tag match, Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY, defend their tag team championships against the former champions of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns. This, oh man, for DIY to finally, get into their heel stage of this tag team storyline, I love it. I love it. The aggression, the ability, the kicks, the strikes, the knees, the psychology that shows the versatility of DIY. And Tommaso Ciampa being the older of the two, with Gargano also having a decent amount of time. These guys have battled with each other, against each other, and everything else in between. These guys have touched so many times in the ring that it's like clockwork. It's snap your fingers, they're there. But Sabin and Ciampa had some nice exchanges in this match. A lot of counters, a lot of takedowns. They kept it really fired up. Once DIY took control, though, they kept Sabin isolated for quite a minute, keeping him away from Shelley by way of course, your tandem tag team wrestling moves. Whenever Alex Shelley did get that hot tag, though, bro, nice House of Fire comeback. Was really solid there, really smooth, good strike, good contact. He almost had Gargano pinned to get the chance to get those titles back with a nice neck breaker. That was a really sweet neck breaker. Now, these two teams who know how to put on an exciting match, not to mention these guys were both in Ring of Honor. Both teams were in Ring of Honor wrestling. The Machine Guns had their time in TNA. Ciampa had his time in TNA. These men are no strangers to each other. Literally, the psychology was so good here. I loved it. Loved it. Now, Pretty Deadly would show up and distract Motor City Machine Guns so DIY could get the upper hand, and then Angel and Bertho chased Pretty Deadly out after that. They chased him around the ring until their fight spread into the ring and caused the ref to throw the match. So it was a no contest because there was so many interruptions going through that the ref just threw the match and called it a no contest. This finish protects DIY as well as the Guns while setting up for another match in the future for these tag team championships. But not having a clear winner is always going to be a little disappointing. But it's okay. This is how storylines are written. This is how they keep the crowd interested. Oh, well, we didn't see who won. We never got a clear, definite winner. We've got to see this again. But most people, most fans are about that instant gratification. They want it right then and there, right now, right here. Bring it to me. It doesn't always work that way. Creative has their reasons. They do listen to the fans, but it's not always what the fans want, which keeps them guessing, which is interesting because that's why they keep tuning in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then weekends for PLEs. That's they're doing something extremely right, and they're not missing the ball here. Now, there was Naomi versus Nia Jax for the women's championship here, for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, Bianca Belair would accompany Naomi to the ring for her title match against Jax, who had Candice LeRae by her side. Tiffany Stratton was nowhere to be seen at this point, which immediately made fans suspicious of the cash-in. Yes, we got a cash-in this evening of Friday Night SmackDown. Naomi would use her speed to take control, though, as soon as the match started, but then could only go for so long before Jax would just power out through everything. Naomi was basically pinned down into a corner, had her reeling during during and after the commercial break. Belair would watch with worry in her eyes, for sure, as her tag partner had her head smashed against the ring post. I know that was a rough spot. Now, this went from being pretty down the middle to being a pretty fun bout. I thought it was very entertaining, very fun. Naomi and Jax worked a lot to make this a truly physical encounter. And it made both of them look very tough, like very credible in-ring competitors for this women's title match. Big props to both Naomi and Nia Jax for such an outstanding performance. Keep up the good work, ladies. We love you. Keep on doing it. Keep kicking ass and keep giving people a reason to believe in the women's division in WWE that much more. Belair and LeRae would get into a fight ringside in the process of this whole match, but it would be broken up by Nia Jax. This gave Naomi a little bit of time to bounce back, to shake back, but then Tiffany's music would hit, and she ran to the ring with a second ref. Tiffany would come out down to the ring with a second ref, but at the last second, she threw the ref over the barricade and then blasted Naomi with the briefcase while the ref was looking away. Jax would pin Naomi to retain her title, but Tiffany got in the ring to celebrate with her. Suddenly, whack! She would hit Jax and LeRae before allowing Belair to hit Jax with a KOD. Miss Money in the Bank would throw Belair out of the ring and over the announce table before officially cashing it in. This was an opportunity for the ages for Tiffany Stratton. She hit the trademark moonsault and pinned Jax to become your new WWE Women's Champion. So congratulations to Tiffany Stratton for her WWE Women's Championship win. Just an opportunity to cash in. She cashed it in. There it is. You got a new champion. Like LeRae, honestly, I'll give it to Candice LeRae here because she's one of those people who seem like a natural baby face. Why is she running heel? I don't know. Creative must like her more as a heel. That's the only thing I can assume here, but then also whenever you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So, moving forward, Naomi's jumping enziguri in this match looked amazing. Great height, great clip, great contact. But that Samoan drop she hit was the most impressive one that she has hit in this match against Nia Jax. It showed like a quick burst of like raw strength, putting Naomi over. And she does continuously have the most consistently cool gear in on the roster here. Now, we have everything. This week's main event was a 6-man tag match between Sami Zayn and the Usos taking on Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. All 6 men were basically barnstorming it as soon as the ref called for the bell. Like, they just said, brawl out, let's go. Pow, 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 pow. You know, just trading up bips and bows. The ref sort of just sat back for a minute. I seen that. He's just like, okay, we're gonna let these guys sit here and wear themselves out, and we're gonna wait here for a few minutes here and see what happens. Yeah, okay, we see. Okay, let's get back to the action. All right, so now the show went to break with the new bloodline being tossed out of the ring. Now, once they returned from break and order was restored. Ooh, excuse me. Got a little gas bubble here. Jey Uso and Tama Tonga squared off as the legal men in the match. The pace slowed way down once Solo's team had the upper hand. You know, you had the high speed, high pace baby face action, letting them get the upper hand. Then once the heels take over and cut off, they slow down the pace. They get the crowd back down to where they can bring them back up to help them get underneath with that face. You know, that's usually how psychology works in professional wrestling. You don't want to be high octane all the way. Not like these hybrids that no. The only spots they have is whenever they're trying to recover from the concussion they're about to withstand. They're like, oh, no, give me some, breathe, let things breathe. And that's what the heels are doing. They're allowing to let the moves breathe. They're allowing to let the fans register what's going on. And that's what heels are supposed to do, especially the faces, selling and registering what's going on. Now, once we return from break, I already talked about break. This was given a lot of time, might I add. This match was given a decent amount of time, and that would be usually a good thing with talented wrestlers like these guys. It sometimes felt as if they were kind of struggling to fill the gaps, just ever so slightly. I didn't really see a lot of wasted movement, except for a couple of little spots like, hey, you know, when you're selling a move and somebody else is selling a move that you give to them and you walk away, there's usually like a 2-1,000 or 4-1,000 rule, like 1-1,000, 2-1,000, 3-1,000, 4-1,000. Then you get to it's enough time to give the fans enough time to register each move. Like, you register a hard running boot and you give that few seconds, you go pump that crowd up, and that's what carries on. And it's like it's helping build the story, especially helping build up the momentum that the babyface is going to get on that comeback. So when that comeback hits, that crowd's going, it just moves forward. Now, most of the action we saw in this right here was well secured and well executed, but it really started to drag after a little bit. Part of the problem might be that we have seen all of these men fight so many times at this point. You know, it's getting a little stale, old. Nah, it's getting there. I'll admit it. It's kind of getting there. I'm a shoot on it. Fuck it. They're getting a little flatter than a plate full of piss sometimes, man. Solo ended up getting the win for his team here, though, with the Samoan spike to Jey Uso. This was fine for what it was. But having the women's title bout as the main event would have been a better ending to the show. And that's a hot take. I think the WWE Women's Championship should have been the main. They took that shine from those ladies because they produced a 5-star match on national television. Something that could have been on a PLE. This could have been a PLE quality match, and it'll be great. Now, the new bloodline would defeat the OG bloodline in this match, of course. And bro, Jacob Fatu, to me, I just feels like he's the low-key funny guy of the group. You know, I love you, all that shit. It's great. It's good. The crowd is pulling into it, and I love it. It's just every time we see him, we hit the, oh man, this was so good. This was so good. Like the little bit of comedy relief. The entrances and the commercial breaks took almost 10 minutes though, in that main. Then the next break was only a couple minutes later after that. So like Corey Graves actually made some really good points in this show, pointing out, Sokola being a more active leader than Roman was, and just not expecting everyone to do his bidding. He's going out there and handling business on his own. So this was a pretty solid um, Friday Night SmackDown, and I loved every lick of this. This was good. This was a solid SmackDown. I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, January 6th on Netflix. Probably going to go on Discord. Y'all come hop in there with me and maybe Jimmy or Justin. We're going to watch along together on it. But that's going to cover our Week in Wrestling, the recovery episode of our Week in Wrestling episode 17. We're really sorry about the bad connections, guys. And I look forward to seeing y'all again this Sunday coming up at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube. We want to thank Lil East Creations for everything that she has done for us and keeping the Shed podcast up and going. We can't thank you enough. We love y'all. And thank you for the fans. Remember to like, share, and subscribe this content. And drop some comments after I go live, man, because I will take a look at those. I will look at those like throughout the week. So if y'all have any questions during these podcasts and I don't see it, I will go and look at the chats. Or if y'all want to DM me, y'all can find me at Just Build Different Cody Hawkinz on Facebook. You can find me at Hawkinz88 on Instagram. You can find me at JBD for Life on TikTok, which is also where I promote things for the Shed podcast as well as my future bookings. I will be this Sunday coming up, I'm booked for Action. Sadistic Wrestling Federation in Silsbee, Texas, Sunday, January 12th. It's going to be a 5 p.m. show, kind of early. Looking forward to it, though. I cannot wait. I'm on the hunt for gold, boy. It's been too long since I've held some kind of gold. Hell, I might find a partner. I might get me some tag team gold. Well, I can go back to singles gold. But just know, Sadistic, y'all think y'all had a hard time with me. It's about to get a whole lot worse. Because this roster is going to understand why I am just built different. And see. Thank you. Thank you. So, with that being said, I'm out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am Just Built Different, Cody Hawkinz, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Shed Podcast. Later.